Hello folks, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made this. So this is a little bit of ripping therapy. I'm using the Zen House, some woodland fern, little bits and pieces of foliage to make extra pattern and texture in my rips, and of course a lovely scenescape. So enough chat from me, let's crack on. So I'm going to start with zigzag cards and we're going to rip one of these off. Now you can use a ruler if you want a relatively straight edge. I'm just using my nail. There you go, relatively easy, lovely paper to work on. That's our background. So now if you've got a watercolour card, you're going to need probably about the size of a bookmark. That will be just perfect. Let me put a nice piece of white paper underneath this and we can get cracking. I'm going to stamp on here the Zen House, and I've chosen the one with the little wiggly roof. And I'm going to ink that up in medieval blue. And now I'm going to do another bit of stamping just while we're here. I'm just going to use woodland fern in Versifying Claire Shady Lane. And we're going to create this sort of feeling of a clump. That's a nice word, I'll go with that. A clump of woodland fern. So if you just follow that woodland fern round, and then we're going to use the smaller stamp off and add a little bit of variation. There we go. That is our clump of woodland fern. So grab your stencil brush and Sundance and just do a little bit of that behind it. Now with Kuretake clean colour real brush pens, I'm going in with a green and a grey. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of green underneath there and then add a touch of grey, and that will give us our basis of a background. If you want to add some water, please do, and blend in your colour so it disappears out. Okay, just going to leave it to one side. Now we're going to cut this house out. There we go. There we go. I don't want to get too close to that wiggly roof because it might break. So, going back in with those lovely watercolour pens, we're going to start with a very pale blue. Just to give us a basis on which to work. And add a bit of bright yellow to the side of that porch and to the centre of this house. Then orange to the left. And a little bit of green underneath those lovely vines. And grab your watercolour brush that's just got a little touch of water on and let's blend that in. Any excess colour that's on your brush, I would lift it and just put it at the bottom where those lovely plants are climbing up by the door. Now I want a touch of pink there, a touch of pink there, and a touch of pink there. Again, use that water. There's that pale blue. Just colouring in two of those panes of glass. So I'm wanting pink on that stripe there, and a little touch of green on this side here, on these vines that are heading that way. Go back in with that blue if you feel like you need a little bit more. and just add some colour to those flowers. Touches of blue, pink, and some friendly yellow. Just take that grey underneath the vines so we get some lovely shading. Now we move on to our Scene-Scape, the awakening. Let's get ripping. So the trick is, if you rip towards yourself, you'll get the rip at the top. Now the white of the rip is actually quite important. You can see I've gone quite close to the moon there, and I'm going to go a bit further away on the other side. That is because I want more on this side, okay? Now I'm just really creating a circle. Now I'm going to stick this down. So let's grab some bibbidi bobbidi glue. Bibbidi bobbidi glue. Smoothing it out with nature's spatula, your finger. And grab yourself a Series 9 stencil brush. Little bit of Sundance, and we'll just take it to the right of the moon. Now I'm going to grab some geese and stamp them, and this time I'm going to do them in medieval blue. Ink them up, stamp them on. Now we're going to create this landscape. So grab yourself some Dreamscape papers. We'll use this one. So it's darker green one side, lighter green the other. I'm going to rip this in half. Simple, like that. Now on this browner side, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our stencil brush and we're going to use some Elements Ink henna just to darken it up in places. But you still get all that lovely pattern behind. So I'm just going to rip to get that white edge, which is what we want. Okay, and if you pull your finger at more of an angle, you get that lovely bigger rip. Okay? And just think, do you want mountains in the background? What do you want? But remember, this edge has to be white. If it's not, it just doesn't look right. And then I'm going to rip down here, because actually I might use this for another layer, because that's what they are, layers upon layers upon layers. And let's go there. Now take it off, add a little bit of what's left on your Sundance yellow. And if you haven't got enough, go back in for some more. It's rather nice to have that cream edge. So that would go there. Now I'm not actually going to stick this down yet. Next I'm going to add a little bit more henna. Because I'm wanting this colour. So I'm going to go and create a sort of curved edge to go like that. Going to the green bit now, so grab yourself these colours. Pine, green sleeves and henna. Pale green parts and then more darker green over here. Some henna as well. Isn't it lovely? Right, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Now, there's a yellow bit here. I quite like that. So I'm going to just, again, rip towards myself to create this bumpy triangle. There we go. I want another bumpy triangle, so I'm going to grab some more Sundance and just try and add a little bit more to this bit here so that I can rip another yellowy greeny bumpy triangle. So that one will go there. Actually, I might do it this side. I'm going to create a lovely swooping bit here. So I'll get my Elements Ink Pine. Then we're going to get some dark denim on it. Because there's just something about that lovely colour and it sort of mirrors that sky. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to spray and get some extra texture on that. Okay, so I want this lovely swooping edge, don't I? Okay. Now, I want a paler green in here. So I'm going to go back to this side and just rip myself a couple of... Okay, so if I was to do that there, and a bit of that there, and a bit of that there. Can you see how I'm building up a landscape? Ripping some shapes, putting them together until you can see hills, you can see sand dunes, you can see mountains, and your pattern will do the work for you. Just rip and enjoy. Grab that Sundance yellow, because we're just going to add a little bit to the edges. If you take it off, that helps. Okay. There we go. So that's going to go there. So let's grab some bibbidi bobbidi again and smooth that out with your finger. And you can go at an angle if you want. I'll go at an angle. There we go. And then we want this bit here. And that's going to the side. Grab your a lovely stamp from the foliage set, and we're going to use first Fine Clair Pinecone. Stamp some lovely backgrounds. Grab your white Posca pen and just dot the flowers, and that brings that back to life again. Right, so while that's drying, let's grab our house. And if you've got some dark denim and a Series 3 stencil brush, we're just going to add that round the edge. So we're going all the way around. And that then takes away from the fact that we had an outline, if you like, of paper, and that we didn't get that close. Now I've got some double-sided sticky foam, and I'm going to cut 2 bits, just so big. Work out where you want him before you do this. I think we want him to be about there. Because look, that moon is beautiful behind him. Okay, my friends, that is our sticky outy house. Love it. So I'm going to add the rounded triangle that I ripped at the beginning. That's now going on about so. Then we're going to add another one of those rounded triangles, but we're going to do it just in front of our house. Okay. Can you see now I've got another bit that's going off to the side? This bit needs to have some lovely pattern on it. So let's grab another of our stamps. Let's ink this up in first Fine Clair Shady Lane. Stamp off and then add. Stamp off and add. Now with your Posca pen Aqua Green, let's just add some lovely little bits of colour. I'm adding my glue and popping that over there. It's looking lovely already. This is great for building. Don't worry about it hanging lower than the actual piece of card. This is where it's all about it exploding off and out of the frame. Do you remember that woodland fern? This will go about here. So let's grab that white Posca. There we go. Grab your second bit of foam. Work out where you want this to sit. So I'm going to pop my foam on the work itself. There we go. And just pop it on there. Isn't that wonderful how it just sits proud? Now if you think, oh, I wish I'd gone round this, then you can still do it now. Just a touch of that Elements Ink Blue denim. I'm going to grab some aqua green Posca pen and just add some extra bits here as if these geese are sort of flying off the page. This is pretty much it. So all we have to do now is back it on some card and then pop it into place behind one of these mounts. So that is what we're aiming for. I love all the layers, I love all the textures. If you think, actually I want to put extra textures on, you can always add, you know, like stripes are easy to do. Do your stripes. That's just a white Posca pen. Excuse me, fern. And some stripes, and maybe let's put some dots over here. It almost looks like that pollen has gone off into the other direction, doesn't it? And some over there. Something that I'm going to quickly do is a piece of shrink plastic. I've inked it up with archival ink cornflower, and I'm just going to cut this out. Right, and I'm just going to use some elements to colour it. So in the lid of my elements tub, I've put some water on my brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of colour. Don't want it to be too much because it will intensify. When you shrink it down, it can look a bit too dark. So I've just decided to go with a paler one, and just to lift all of the features like the door and a little bit of the window. I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow. This is dark denim. It's all the colours that we've used already. Again, under there, so that they show up when they shrink. Fab. And I'm going to just quickly shrink this down. I'm going to stick this down so that it's got the shiny side up. It looks quite nice to have a miniature version and all that lovely detail comes out on the shiny side. So just a little bit of bippity boppity, and we'll just pop that there. So there you go, my friends. This is the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed coming along and having a go with me and having some ripping therapy. It's been great to have your company. If you've got any comments you'd like to make about this video, please just pop them in the comments below. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But in the meantime, folks, have some ripping therapy fun. See you soon. Take care. Bye.